I visited India in March 2024, excited to see developments on the ground and even more so to indulge in one of my favorite restaurants, Bukhara. The activity in and sentiment towards India is as palpable as the flavors of the food. Most reports you read, not least from us, are very positive. The equity market is at record highs, the bond market is seeing strong inflows ahead of index inclusion, and the hardest question to some onshore participants almost seemed to be, what are the risks? Now, with that risk of hubris in mind, in this video, we want to explore some of the challenges that will have to be overcome. And one of the more pressing issues was made very clear upon opening my curtains on the very first morning. What should have been a beautiful sea view looking out towards the Arabian Sea instead was a hazy view of polluted air with the air quality index at very unhealthy levels. The government does already have ambitious plans to transition the economy towards a more sustainable energy mix, targeting 500 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030, which would be slightly over 40% of expected energy production. But alongside growing energy consumption and a desire to grow the manufacturing sector, there will be no room to falter. Indeed, net zero carbon emissions are not anticipated until 2070, and the welfare of the population will be at risk in the coming years. To more efficiently utilize resources, recycling capacity needs to increase. In steel production, for example, recycled steel only contributes about 10 to 15%, and the aim is to increase that to 50% over the next 2 decades. Agricultural reforms are going to be crucially important. The vulnerability to lower rainfall was clear to see in elevated food price inflation in 2023. The agricultural sector needs to undergo a revolution. More irrigation is needed, with only around 55% of cultivated land having irrigation access, which is only a slight improvement from around 48% in 2014. Land ownership and the facilitation of more productive farming are other key issues. Open agricultural burning is the world's 4th largest source of black carbon emissions and one of the largest contributors to air pollution-related illnesses and deaths. In Punjab, which only makes up 1.5% of India's land area, but where 29% of India's rice and 38% of its wheat is grown, crop residue is most commonly burnt, affecting nearby states each harvest season. And the development of cold storage and transportation infrastructure is still at its very early stages and requires significant investment in order to develop an efficient national agricultural market as well as reduce wastage. As much as 40% of agricultural produce ends up getting wasted, in part due to insufficient and affordable cold chain infrastructure. The labor market will be another critical challenge. While India has been the fastest growing economy, not everyone has benefited from this growth. Consumption has been the weakest in almost 20 years, particularly when adjusted for inflation. Around 20% of the labor force declares itself to be employed but not paid. Generating good quality jobs in an era where there is a parallel focus on increased productivity via technology will not be easy, but points to the urgency in developing a thriving manufacturing sector. The good news is that the last decade has shown the current government has the willingness and ability to take on big challenges, and the country's potential remains huge. Indeed, the upcoming election could strengthen the BJP's platform and facilitate the next wave of reforms. In the post-election landscape, we would look for measures such as the rationalization of subsidies, potentially the streamlining of GST, and land reforms. Leading economists note that asset monetization, such as from toll roads, could provide crucial resources for the government that would extend beyond the privatization of public companies. India has a long way to go, but is heading firmly in the right direction and creating plenty of opportunities for fixed income and equity investors. If you would like to learn more, please do reach out to the team at Aberdeen. Many thanks for watching and see you next time.